In this video we're looking at circles again, and again locating the center of the circle, but this time when we're given 3 points on the circumference and we do not have the radius. So here I have a circle set up, and I have the center of it this time, and I'm just going to go through the theory behind what we're trying to do. So the idea is that if I have 3 points, any 3 points on the circumference of a circle, I can locate the center of it. So if I have 3 points, I'm going to pick 3 points, random points here. And if I was to join these up together, so here to here, I end up with a line. And that line, if we can recall our introduction to circles, is a chord. So a chord is a line joining any 2 points on the circumference of a circle. If I join this one across, that's a second chord. So what I'm going to do is that if I bisect a chord, the center of a circle is on the bisector. So what do I mean by that? So if I bisect this chord, so cutting it in half, so we did revision on that already. So bisecting a chord, the bisector, the line that I draw, joining these 2 points here and here, passes through the center of the circle. So as we can see here, my chord bisects, the bisector passes through the center of the circle. If I'm to take another chord, so this one here, and I bisect that one, the bisector of this one also passes through the center of the circle. And there we have, that's the center of the circle, and my chord passed through my bisectors passed through the middle of it. So if we're to take our special chord, which is the diameter, which would be this line going across here, if that was bisected, again the bisector would contain the center of the circle. So what I'm going to do down here now is I'm just going to have a look at, again, 3 points, and I'm going to find a circle that contains all 3 points. So here I have 3 points on the circumference of the circle. So there would be 3 points just like I had a moment ago. What I need to do is I need to find, so each of these points are points in the circumference. So if I join 2 points together, I get a line. The type of line that I get in this case is a chord. So I'm going to join these 2 points together and then bisect that line. So point my compass on the end pointed line, swing an arc, keeping the arc the same distance. Again, I'm bisecting this. And my center is going to be somewhere on that bisector. I don't know where yet, but somewhere along that center is an arc, is the center point of an arc that will contain those 2 points. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join this third point to one of the other 2 lines, doesn't matter which one. I'm going to bisect that chord. So here to here is another chord, and if I bisect this one, I'm again going to find a line that contains the center of the circle. So where these two bisectors, this one and this one, cross each other, I'll color them in red, make it a bit clearer. So this line and this line, so where these 2 bisectors now in red cross each other, are going to be center points on the center point for a circle that will contain this point, and this point. How do I find the radius of the circle? Point my compass on the center. I have 3 points in the circumference, so 1, 2, all the same distance away. So I can now draw my circle that passes through all 3 points, and there we have that much of it. So just quick recap again. If you have any 3 points on the circumference of a circle, or any 2 points, you can form a chord. If you bisect a chord, So here's a chord. If I bisect that chord, the center point of a circle for those 2 points will be somewhere on that bisector. If I was to do the same for another chord, I'll get something like this. You can also do this if you have 4 points, or it doesn't matter. So you could have this chord and you could have one going from here to here. They don't need to be forming an angle like that. Any 2 chords on a circle, if you bisect them, will give you the center point of that circle. So just have a quick look now at one question on this, and then you can work on your own. So in the example, the question that I'm going to work on here now, it's the Wineglass question. So I'm given my base, which is this piece here. So I've drawn just a horizontal line. I then measured a distance of 70 millimeters along that line, as that's the distance across the base, and I found halfway, which is 35. When I have halfway, I drew a vertical line up, which is going to be the central axis of this wine glass. So I found that much of it. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to mark off the different sections that go up along it. So starting from my bottom line each time, I'm measuring 15 millimeters. Then from the bottom line again, I'm measuring up 56. Then up 110. And then finally 126. So 1, 2, 3, 4 different heights that I'm marking up. From there I can draw a horizontal line. So that's at the very top. This is also 70 wide up on top, so I can mark the 35 either side of the center. Because it's 70 wide, so it's 35 either side. So what I need to do is I need to locate the center point of the circle for this bowl part of it, the top part of the glass. And I also have to do the same thing for the bottom part of the glass down here. But we're going to start with this one up here. So I have 3 points in the circumference of this circle. This is 1, 2, and 3. If I join any 2 of these together, I'm going to form a chord. Now, luckily for us, this one and this one are already joined together, and they form a chord, which is this one. This is already the bisector of that chord, because it's halfway along this 70 millimeter line. So if this is 70 millimeters, this is halfway along it. This line here is already a bisector of that chord, so I only need to bisect one more line. So I'm going to join this one to here, and I again have another chord. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bisect this line, and on the bisector will be, the center will be on it somewhere. So along this line here somewhere is the center of the circle, but I already have another chord, which is this one, so where they cross gives me that point there. Now if you don't want to do it this way, you could still join this point to this point up here and bisect that chord. That will still give you that same point here in the middle. So from here I can now draw my arc that will touch off this point down here, and this point off up over here. And there we have the top part of the glass. For the lower part, we're going to do the same thing again. So we have 1 point, 2 point, and 3 points on the circumference of this circle, of this arc. I need to locate the center. So again, I'm going to join 2 chords together and bisect both of those chords. So I already have one chord, so from here going to here is one chord. It's already bisected, I have halfway, so I can draw in that bisector. So down along here somewhere is going to be the center. So from here to here is a chord, halfway along it is the 35, so I can bisect that. Going to do the same thing now for this chord here. So forming a chord joining these 2 points, going to bisect the line. This is my bisector, so I need to extend this bisector until it intersects the other bisector. So this point down here is going to be the center point of that arc. You can also do it with this chord if you wish, but you don't need to. Once you have 2 of them done, you're good. So just check that they all line up first. That's the bottom part of the glass. Now the final thing that we need to do is just the stem, the bit in the middle, which we're told has a width of which we're not told, so we can just do 5 mil either side of the center. And there we have found this question. So just a quick recap. I was given 3 points in the circumference, 1, 2, and 3. If I join 2 together and bisect, center is going to be somewhere on that bisector. Join another chord and bisect that one. Where that crosses the first bisector gives me the center point of this circle.